Hi. So let's do a emotion capture card procedure. And the essence is basically that we are interested in finding out all the tiny little emotions that someone has while engaging in an activity. And this can be any kind of activity, like doing some sports or a social activity or studying. And remember, it's these tiny little emotions that we're interested in. So even though someone is not really having these big emotions, they might have small emotions. And we want to zoom into those. And we are interested in these emotions, and maybe more importantly, we are interested in knowing what are the motives that underlie these tiny little emotions. So that's why the capture card procedure has two steps. The first step is to follow the person that you are, that is your participant, and capture all their emotions. And then the second part, you sit down with this person and you do an interview with them. And this is going to be like the lettering type of interview that we talked about before. And in the end, you have an overview of all the emotion that someone has while engaging in that activity. And for each of those emotions, what are the underlying motives, the positive and the negative emotions, what were the goals, the needs, or the values that drove those emotions for each of the emotion that you captured. We do this procedure with two researchers. One is called the communicator and one is called the capturer. And they have different roles in the first part of the study. That's the part where you capture the emotions. So the communicator kind of has a conversation with the participants while they engage in their activity. It's not an interview, it's just keeping the conversation going. And the capturer is not involved in that conversation, but is on the background and captures all the emotions that he or she observes. And each emotion is captured on a new card. So you write down what was the emotion and you make a little note so that you can remember what this was about, because you're going to use these cards in the second part in the interview. So you might wonder, what is this communicator doing? It's not an interview, so you don't want to interfere with the activity. You want the activity to be as natural as possible. At the same time, it's not really natural because there are two researchers present and the respondent knows this. He or she knows, I am being observed. So, they know this is a research situation, but you explain to them, try to act as natural as possible, but we are interested in finding out all the little experiences that you have while you engage in that activity. So as the communicator, you engage in a conversation in which you try to kind of probe the participant for expressing as much as possible these feelings so that the capturer can then capture them. And afterwards, when you sit down for the second part, both the capturer and the communicator can join in the conversation, in the lettering conversation. It's not that divided anymore, the roles in that second part. Some tips. It's really important that when you invite a participant to take part in your study, is that they know what you expect from them, because they have to feel comfortable. So they have to know that you're interested in knowing their experiences during a particular activity and that you will follow them around. And you can also tell them that they don't have to worry, the process will explain itself. And of course, it's not they who are being tested, it is you who are interested in finding out what kind of feelings people in general experience in that activity. So when you start all of this at the beginning, don't immediately throw yourself into the study. First sit down with the participant and have a little conversation, make them feel comfortable, explain them again what they can expect, enable them to ask questions, and then you start the study. Now let's see how this works in real life. All right, so we are ready to start our study. We have two researchers. We have Pelin over there, who's going to be our capturer, and I will be the one who's doing the conversation with our participant. And our participant is also here, who's Hanif. Welcome, participant. So in this study, we are interested in knowing all the emotions that people have while they're having a coffee break at the office. Hello, Aleph.
Hello, Peter.
Thank you again for participating in our study. So as I already explained to you when we were inviting you, this is a study in which we try to understand the feelings that people have when they're having a coffee break at the office. So what we will do is, the two of us, we will follow you when you are getting your coffee and drinking your coffee, and we will observe you and we will try to see what feelings you have. So this can be positive feelings, it can be negative feelings, any kind of experience that you have in those moments. So we invite you also to express yourself. So maybe, of course, in a normal situation you would not say I'm feeling this and that, but since this is a research, we hope that you can express your feelings. And also, I will also help you with that. But apart from that, you can just, do the same thing you always do when you get a coffee. So we're really interested in seeing what happens when people go through this normal procedure.
I understand. So I don't need to act differently.
No, you don't have to act differently than normal, and it will show itself. So first we will observe you, follow you, and capture your emotions,
Okay.
and then after that we will sit down with you and we will talk about it to have some more information, to know why you felt what you felt.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
Yes, nice. Do you have any questions before we start?
How long it's gonna take in total usually?
Well, the actual coffee drinking will take as much time as it usually does. So I think in your case, how much time do you usually take for a coffee break?
10 minutes.
So 10 minutes. But then the interview can take some time, so that might take up to an hour.
Okay.
All right?
Let's do it.
Any other questions?
No.
All right, let's go. What's happening?
It's a bit confusing with these arrows. Like they were not here before.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
another one. Now it's clear.
Yeah. What's going on? You seem a bit hesitant, or?
Yeah, I don't really want to touch this thing, but I have to. Okay.
What's going through your mind? Do you feel
Yeah,
right
I usually go for a cappuccino,
Mm-hmm.
but today I feel like trying something else. Let's try this one. Oh, I need to make another choice again. Okay.
Any feelings about that?
Yeah, now I need to decide, and I'm not sure which one is better. Let's go for this one. Yes.
Anything happening now? Any feelings?
It didn't start, so I'm curious what happened. Oh yeah. Now it's time for waiting.
Yeah, you look happy.
Yeah, I like waiting for my coffee.
All right. Happy again.
I'm excited.
Excited. Okay.
Coffee. Oh, nice.
Oh, what's nice?
Oh, my favorite spot. It's free.
Okay. Anything else that you're feeling right now?
Yeah, it feels a bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very empty.
It's empty.
This area.
So that's what feels weird.
Weirdly sad. Yeah. I used to be here with other people that I know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So enjoy your coffee.
Thank you.
All right. So up till now, we had 8 capture cards, and we tried to understand what's going on while our participants was purchasing her coffee. And I'll give a quick overview of what we have until now. We noticed that our participant was hesitant first when she saw the arrows, and again hesitant when trying to select her coffee and touching the screen. And then she was confused while making her decision. And she felt curious because the machine didn't start working. And then we saw that our participants were happy, and she was waiting for the coffee when she was actually showing happiness. And then we saw again that her emotion was happy when the coffee was ready, and then she was again happy to see her favorite spot was free. And then finally she felt sad. We saw that she was feeling weirdly sad when she saw that the area was empty and no one she knew was here. So we will be probing and trying to understand the motives. So let's start the second part.
So we're going to continue with the second part of our study, and while you were having your coffee, we saw some experiences, some feelings that you had. You expressed some feelings. We tried to capture them, and we're going to go through them one by one. And we have a little help for that, which is this sheet. It has certain emotions. So, if we ask you to express a bit more about your feelings, you can use them. You don't need to use them, that's just to help you. But what we are mostly interested about is to find out why you felt the things that you felt.
Okay.
All right? So the first feeling that we captured was you seemed a bit confused when you were seeing the arrows on the floor when you were approaching the machine.
Yes, that's true. I was confused.
You were confused, yeah. What caused the confusion?
Yeah, because the arrows were pointing towards a different direction than the coffee machine.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, where to go? That was confusing.
So you were confused because you weren't sure where to go, and why was it important to you to know this?
Yeah, it is important to follow the rules.
Mhm.
I think I should follow the rules. Yeah,
So these arrows, they represent certain rules.
exactly.
And what kind of rules are you talking about?
I'm talking about the rules about the pandemic. I think, yeah, everyone should follow the rules in order to prevent the spread of the virus. So I wanted to follow the rule, but I was confused
Yeah.
with the direction of the arrows.
So you're saying that you want to follow the rules because you want to take your responsibility in preventing the risk for this pandemic.
I think so. It is everyone's responsibility.
It's a shared responsibility.
And actually, I was also a bit annoyed.
Okay, so you were also a little bit annoyed.
Yes.
So, and she expresses another emotion while talking about this one, so I will make a new card. So you were also a bit annoyed.
Yes.
Was there a particular reason why you were annoyed about it?
Yeah, so these arrows are obviously arranged by certain people. Like, I think they should have put them in a more clear way. I felt like they didn't really think about it. Like this area, the arrows are pointing towards each other, and then it it's confusion. So I'm annoyed by the design, let's say. So I think everyone should like take the responsibility and really fulfill it in a clear way.
So also the people who are making these errors.
Exactly. So
What is their responsibility then?
to really think through the
Mm.
user, the people who are gonna be guided by those.
So you were annoyed because you felt they didn't think it through enough.
I think I was annoyed because I thought they didn't really do a good job.
Right. Anything else about these arrows and how it made you feel, or?
I think confusion and a little bit annoyance was the case.
Yeah. So let's go to the next one. So when you approach the machine, you're in front of the screen. You also seemed a little bit reluctant.
Yeah, I didn't really want to touch it.
Ah,
You
okay.
know, it's really
So you felt
Yeah.
How would you describe that feeling?
it's like, "Eeh, I don't want to touch this kind of
I don't want to touch this.
feeling. Yeah.
So why did you have this feeling? Why did you not want to touch it?
Well, it's a public use machine, so like I assume many people are touching the screen, and most probably it's not being cleaned.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so because of the corona again, like I want to take care of myself. So it feels a bit, disgusting a little bit, to touch that screen.
Because there is a risk that you might get infected.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the reason, I would say.
Yeah. Anything else you were feeling in that moment?
Not really frightened,
Mhm.
not that strong, but it's a bit feeling not safe by interacting physically with the device.
And is that for the same reason as discussed, or was it about
It's the
something
same
else?
reason, and it's like I want to take care of my own body, so not sure if I'm getting something bad
Mhm.
on that surface. It's the same reason.
So for you, it's important to take care of yourself and to stay safe and healthy. Is there a reason why this is important to you?
Yeah, because if I get sick, I cannot really function properly.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot continue my daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what would happen if you cannot continue your daily routine? Why would that be a problem?
I think then, I cannot really fulfill my responsibilities. Like I cannot really do my job properly and my project maybe.
Yeah. So you feel the responsibility towards your job
Exactly.
and doing your project. Yeah.
That's the reason I think
All right.
I want to work in my full potential.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now we have a stack of capture cards, each card representing an emotion that our participant experienced while having a coffee break. And now for us as a researcher, the next step is to kind of analyze what's on the card. So what we want to create for each card is a ladder with the motive from very concrete to very abstract, and then together we decide what is like the golden mean, what is the motive that inspires us as designers. So it shouldn't be too abstract because then it's disconnected from the situation of drinking coffee, but it also should not be too concrete because it doesn't give us any design space. Okay, so this was about touching the screen and she was reluctant. Do you remember what motive she said?
Yeah, she just didn't want to be infected first.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was the most concrete insight we got. And then she wanted to take care of herself. That was another layer. She wanted to be healthy. And another layer was that she was concerned about her job, that she wanted to work well so she can fulfill her responsibilities. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it started with I don't want to get infected, and then it was really I want to take good care of my body and my health. And then it went up to because I need to be healthy to fulfill my job.
Yeah.
So that is a nice letter, but what do you think is a good kind of, which one would inspire you for like a redesign of the situation?
Yeah. I think I want to get my project done is too abstract.
It's not connected anymore really to
No.
the situation.
So being safe from risk and not getting infected is concrete, but too concrete maybe.
I think it's nice if you go one step higher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe
So taking good care of the body.
the body.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So there we go. We put that on a post-it
Yeah.
and stick that on a capture card. So we have our card that represents one emotion of our participant. We have the information about what caused the emotion, but we also have the letter, and on top of that we have the post-it with the golden mean motive. And then you're all done. You can go to the next card, and when you've done all of that, then you have your data set.